Shortly after FDR took office, he instantly began a program to where he tried to restore confidence in American society, many of whom had pretty much lost everything from not only jobs or maybe the Dust Bowl or anything else of the sort, but confidence was just bad. But as we talked about how a lot of people had access to radios around these times, FDR began a series of what he called fireside chats. This is to where people could gather around a radio and listen to the president speak about various different things that he was going to enact to really just kind of help with what the country was going to do and all the different types of things that were going to be enacted to help. So, to receive various different updates, the radio became the preferred medium for FDR and how he wanted to conduct his business. So, shortly after he took office, he declared a bank holiday. He closed down all banks for about 4 or 5 days or so in effort to work with Congress to create some sort of bank reform. And shortly thereafter, Congress passed and FDR signed into law the Glass-Steagall Act, which helped to curb irresponsible bank speculation. Okay, so that was one of the things that drove banks down the tubes, and it was something that needed to be addressed, at least to have some sort of parameters in place. Speaking of banks, another thing that was also implemented as you had a number of different banks close was the idea that people would be able to collect their money should the bank itself falter, go bankrupt, or otherwise shut its doors. So if you have ever gone to a bank and you've seen a sign on there that says FDIC, FDIC is a Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, which was enacted under FDR's New Deal in the 1930s. And the reason behind FDIC is to guarantee all bank deposits should that bank go out of business or otherwise fail. So if you were to open up a bank account and you had a certain amount of money in there, the federal government would insure it. So today, the limit is $250,000. Back in the 1930s, the limit was $2,500. So if you had $2,500 in a bank account and the bank where you had it failed or otherwise closed shop, the federal government would insure you and you would get $2,500. That is true under the FDIC. So today, as I mentioned, it's $250,000, but I want you to take a look at that slide I've also included. It's a picture of an ATM receipt from Capital One Bank. Somebody has over $99 million, million with an M, $99 million in a checking account. If for whatever reason that bank closed, the person who owns that bank account would only get a maximum of $250,000 back. So this person would lose almost everything. They have $99 million in a bank account. I want you to think about that for a second, because either this person is ridiculously stupid and just has all their bank money in a bank account, or this person is incredibly wealthy and they have money all over the place and investments all over the place, and they just have $99 million liquid that they could just have in a bank account because they can. That's amazing to think about. So if this person is capable of losing $99 million and still being fine, that's amazing. This person must be incredibly wealthy or incredibly stupid. I don't know either way which one's which. Okay? If this person didn't have money diversified elsewhere, they're really stupid. But chances are, since it's located in the Hamptons, that tells me this person's probably incredibly wealthy and $99 million is only a portion of all their assets. Wow. Otherwise, though, for everyday folks like us who don't have $99 million just hanging around in a bank account, we have up to $250,000 that we could get back should our banks fail. And that's due to FDIC being opened up as an insurance program for those during the Depression whose banks may have failed. So that was one of the things that was also enacted. Another issue with the 1920s was that the stock market got wildly out of control and speculation ran rampant. So one of the things that FDR enacted as part of the New Deal was to develop the SEC, the Security Exchange Commission, and it was established to police the stock market and provide at least some sort of trading barriers for fair and responsible action so as to mitigate some of the speculation that was going on that inflated the market, which eventually collapsed. So what it is not an attempt to take government control of the stock market. It's at least putting in some sort of parameters. Hey, we're gonna put on these bumpers along your bowling alley, and we're gonna keep you from going into the gutter. That's basically what the SEC was enacted to do. So, along with Glass-Steagall, the FDIC, and the SEC, some of FDR's initial acts under his New Deal were to provide insurance to keep banks in line, to keep the stock market in line, and to protect people should their bank fail.